is a noodle maker, pierogi cutter, pierogi dough. Okay.
And so it's easy to go through the roller. Add a little flour if you need. I made my dough 9 o'clock this morning so that it could sit in the fridge for a while. It's pretty sticky, but I'd rather have sticky dough. And add a little bit of flour as you work. I made the dough this morning, 6 cups of flour, 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of oil, and a little bit of salt. And I put it in the mix master and it mixed it up for me. And then I put it in the fridge, like I said, since this morning. Then after I did that, I cooked some potatoes. I boiled them. And then when they were boiled, I mashed them. And I added Cheese Whiz. You could add Cheese Whiz and cheddar cheese if you want, shredded, or just shredded cheddar cheese, or any kind of cheese you like, whatever works. Bacon bits, garlic powder, and a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to make sure it's wide enough, so that's why I'm just kind of stretching it a little bit. That one's a little bit on the thin side. It'll work, but... And then putting probably just a little less than a tablespoon, in. But you want to mix it out because you're going to roll the dough over top, and then I'll show you how I cut it after. Some people like to cook their pierogies after they partially cook them after they make them. I just put them on parchment paper and put them into the freezer and freeze, and then bag them and then cook them when I want to eat. It's a personal preference. It's the first time I'm using this thing. It's working pretty good. I'm kind of liking it.
It's for the ice cream, right?
No. Well, could be, but no.
Yeah.
This I bought, no, it's too small.
Oh, you bought that.
Look at how small it is.
Yeah.
You can make meatballs with it.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to put in into a ball. You could do melon with it, I guess. Now I'm going to roll it over on top. It's kind of better if you have your potato kind of on one half of it, sort of over. So I'm going to kind of stretch it over. And then just with the palm of my hand, just kind of flatten it. That one's a little sticky. I'm going to put a little bit more flour over here because I don't want it to stick to the... So with the the palm of my hand, just kind of press it down. And then, to kind of seal it a bit better, I just take my side of my hand and press it. And then I will cut it. I'll cut them all at once with my cutter. It's actually a tart cutter, but it works amazing for pierogies too. Because when you press it down, oh gosh, there we go. When you press it down, it also crimps it a bit, which helps to seal it. So you press, so they're not all in a ball, and then just make sure it is sealed. Again, this is a little sticky. I just started, so I don't have enough flour on the board. And now I will press it down. So now I'm going to take my pierogi cutter, push it, and cut it. push it and cut it. And that's still a little bit. Put some flour on there, sticky as well. Push it and cut it. Push it and cut it. You can see that was a little fat because it poked it. And save the leftover or the ends. They can be used as well for the next go. And there, less than 5 minutes and I've made a dozen pierogies. See, I didn't push it. I just make sure it's sealed. I don't really have to look, just to look in case I didn't push it down enough. I just give it a quick little crimp. These are Pampered Chef pans and they're a little bit bigger than the average cookie sheet. They work amazingly well for pierogies too. Of course, I do like to fit as much as I can on there, but you have to put them on so that they don't touch because they will stick together, freeze together. Pull in it and then you've got all the filling inside the pot. This is the dough. Cut some pieces off as I go. It's one batch of dough. I squish it out some so it'll go through the roller easier. There's a clamp on the bottom of the roller so that it doesn't move for you. Started on the 0 one, the biggest one, so that it goes through easier after I've pressed it down. And then I move it to the number 2. This one's kind of skinny. Okay. I covered the dough with the bowl so that it won't dry out. Now I'll fold it over the potato mixture and squish it down with my hand. Be careful not to get any filling where you're going to cut, because the filling, if it's in between the pierogi dough and where you're cutting, will not stick. The pierogi dough will not stick then. them as close as you can, but not touching. I've counted them. There are 24 on this bottom layer. I like to keep track of how many I make. So I've made over 2 dozen because there's 2 more that I couldn't fit on the bottom layer. Made 2 layers. I've counted them. And now I'll put these in the freezer so that they can freeze. When they're all frozen, I will put them in a bag. And then when we're ready to cook them, we just can take out the number we want, boil some water first with a little bit of oil in it, put the pierogies in the oil, or in the boiling water with a little bit of oil, and then when they start floating to the top, they will be cooked. And I do like to fry them a little bit afterwards, just to give them a little coating, and if there's, actually fry up some bacon, and then take the bacon out and just use the bacon grease to fry the pierogies. Just a little bit, just enough to give it a little extra flavor.